Here we go. Hopefully. Good evening, everybody. This is Alan VK2 Mike Golf on behalf of the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, kicking off this week's weekly net. Unfortunately, we are still sans Echo Link this week, but we've had some decent progress. We actually have the unit now, and hopefully, when the travel restrictions ease, we'll be able to get it up to the repeater site and configured and going again in the next couple of weeks, which will be wonderful. Okay. I've got the video running now, so that looks good, and we're starting vaguely on time. The net generally runs 2 rounds. We've got a topic that we'll talk about, but interested in anything that you'd like to talk about, really, as well as how you're getting on with everything that's going on, and if you've been up to anything interesting. As I said, this is Alan, VK2 Mike Golf. Anybody wish to join us this evening? Good evening, Rob. This could be very, very quick if we don't get anybody else out there. Oh my goodness. I showered and cleaned up for this. Oh, wow. I'm not sure if it's worth going for a topic, Rob, but how have you been, mate? You been up to anything interesting? VK2NRC, VK2MG.
VK2MG in the vast group of non-people. What's the boy doing? Went back to take today via Zoom and I'm not the biggest fan of Zoom, and it's not the best, how would you call it, that learning platform for me to learn on. I'm a more hands-on to look through type person and read books and it's trying to take so long as it goes absorb it for the Zoom for it. That's me. So anyway, that's that today. At the moment doing amplifiers. Just the various configurations, etc. That's interesting. But it's just one of those things that takes me so long to learn what if I just go into it practically, it's in your head forever. Anyway, we'll hopefully in a few weeks' time be able to go back at least some of the lists. What else? The long weekend was we were invaded by people from all over the place and who have no idea what 5 kilometres or their own council area entails. But anyway, we'll put it back to you, Alan. VK2MG, VK2NRC.
Yeah, VK2NRC, VK2MG. Not the best signal into the repeater, but I got most of that, Rob. Interesting, playing with Zoom, not a fan. I probably live in Zoom about 10, 12 hours a week. It's my job at the moment and have done for about the last 3 years because I work remotely and that's the tool they prefer. I don't mind it generally. I guess with all tools you get used to it, don't you? And Roger, you're always and the other stuff, always learning new stuff. It's the way to keep the mind active, isn't it? Always look for something else and always learning. And yeah, hopefully we will get back to be able to some sort of normalcy in the next couple of weeks. But I guess we'll see with the major easing of restrictions just how that goes in about 3 weeks' time with the numbers, won't we? Okay. I do see we have two folks on Facebook. G'day, Mike. G'day, Al Barton. Glad to hear you've not been blown away yet. And I know it did get a bit windy earlier on, didn't it? So I'm guessing is what you're referring to. Okay. Anybody else out there wish to join us for a chat this evening? This is Alan, VK2 Mike Golf.
VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. Very noisy on the repeaters tonight. I don't know if it's me or someone else or something else.
G'day, Miles. Well, you're coming through fine. Am I noisy into it too?
I'm not sure. So you're hearing that noise as well, are you?
I was only hearing the noise on Rob. You are quieting beautifully.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I'm pretty much under the repeater. I'm not far. Oh, as a crow flies, I'm only probably 5-6 kilometres from it. So yeah, I want to be hitting it pretty good.
Okay, mate. There's only the three of us here at the moment, so I'll put out another call, see if there's anybody else wishes to join us. This is Alan, VK2MG.
Julie Whiskey, Jesus, bad this morning. I'm in North Parramatta and I usually get 5 bars noise from the repeater. I'm only getting 3 bars up.
Acknowledging James as well, VK2 Juliet Whiskey. You're not a great signal in either. I'm wondering if we've got some of our old friend the power line interference going on up there. Anybody else wish to join us?
Jerry Kilo Charlie. VK2 Julie Whiskey name is Jim Juliet on Mike.
Yeah, I've got you there, Jim, and acknowledging Steve as well. Anybody else? Sorry, I missed that last call. Well, I only had an Oscar, I think. Okay, so we will head back up to the top, Rob, and we'll throw the topic out there. Because I'd hate to bypass you on this one, because I'm sure you'll have an interesting story on this one. How did you get into radio, mate? VK2NRC, VK2MG.
As long as I can remember, I've had a love of radio. Remember, it was very young kid. Sitting in front of an old HMV. It was like a piece of furniture. It had a Garrett turntable on one side, which was rolled out, and then the radio panel sort of was like a, how would you put it? It sort of came out on probably about 20-degree angle and sort of pivoted from the bottom out, and a couple of big speakers in the middle of it with like a fabric over it. And I can remember, the very, it just fascinated me, the voices coming out of this piece of furniture, and I just loved radio ever since. Amateur radio, first, what would you call it? First time I knew of it existing, we were on holidays down at place called South Paris, just north of Batemans Bay, and a bloke who was camping next to us, I could hear this talking and two voices. And, it was about sort of 4:35 in the morning, which I always used to get up early, and so I sort of went out, and there he was talking into this microphone, and this voice was coming back, and well, I'll cut a long story short. I still to this day can't remember his call sign, but he was instrumental in building the original repeater that was at Milton. I was about 12 years old, I suppose, when actually went up when they had the opening of that. It's actually set up in an old backyard dunny on the hill just as you come into Milton. There was a place on the right-hand side. But so that was my introduction to amateur radio. Anyway, put it back to you, VK2MG, VK2NRT.
Yeah, VK2NRC, VK2MG, just moving the microphone over to the other hand because it's more comfortable that way. Oh, I remember those old radiograms. They were artwork, weren't they? They were magnificent. I remember we had a huge one that was a television as well, and it was huge. I actually also remember running my guitar into one of the mic sockets because I didn't have an amp. Interesting about the introduction there as a 12-year-old and the gentleman at 4:30 in the morning piquing your interest. Okay, moving on. Miles, how have you been, my friend? And you've been up to, how did you get into radio? VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 Mike Golf.
VK2 Mike Golf, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. How did I get in the radio? Well, give me a minute. How have I been? I've been okay. Very busy working. The only reason I'm home is, excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. I had a wisdom tooth broke. It's come through the gum and it's pretty ugly, so come home to get it sorted out. And then they decided that they couldn't pull it today. So I won't go out till probably Sunday or Monday. And then I got to be back home Wednesday morning to have it removed. And hopefully they can get it out with too much issue. Otherwise I may have to go and see a specialist and get some work done if they rip the bottom of my skull out. But anyway, that's another story. How did I get into radio? My dad was a technician. He worked for Parramatta Car Sound and a heap of other companies. Used to install in the police cars and all that sort of stuff, and repair radios, all that sort of stuff. And he used to do a lot of repairs on marine radios and stuff at home. And he had a marine radio antenna on top of the roof of the garage down in Smithfield. And it had a iron roof, and it was really good ground plane on it. So we ended up throwing a CB in the garage. They put a CB out in the garage for us, and we started playing on that. And I think I would have been 9 or 10. I played on 27 meg CB radio till I was probably 18, 19, maybe older. Met a girl whose father was an amateur. Had a look at getting my, what was it? I can't remember now, but yeah, I didn't have a great deal of interest in VHF, UHF. I've always had, my main interest has always been in HF. Anyway, at the time, you had to be able to do Morse to get the HF frequency, so I said, stuff it. Not interested, I'll wait. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it, and then fast forward many years later, moved up.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
Yeah, many years later, moved up here. Bought a CB, just have a bit of fun, see what was happening on 27 megs, and there was a bit of skip running, and I was doing some research, and I found out about this thing called a Foundation Amateur Radio Licence. So I organised to get that, and got that, and yeah, here I am, 4 years later, with more valve radios than you can poke a stick at, and a couple of modern radios as well, just for fun. Yeah, so that's how I got into radio there, Mark, VK2MG, VK2ASS.
Yeah, VK2ASS, VK2MG. Thank you for going back over that. It's like I said, I had this hot topic occur to me late this afternoon. I thought this could be an interesting one, and so it is turning out to be. And yeah, you have quite a history there, Miles. Fascinating, and I did actually write most of it down. My hand's hurting. Okay. So yes, and I was actually going to say amateur radio. I thought, no, there's a lot of folks who who got into radio through other means as well. So let's make it a bit broader. And so we went that way. So I'm glad you actually went over that with us. That's great, Miles. Okay, Jim, you're up. I hope you've been well, mate. Been up to anything interesting? And how did you get into radio? VK2 Juliet Whiskey, VK2 Mike Golf. Are you still with us, Jim? VK2JW, VK2MG. Okay, we'll try again next time round. Steve, hope you've been well, mate. And what you been up to? And what's your story about how you got into radio? VK2SKC, VK2MG.
VK2SKC. Good evening, Alan. Doing quite well, thanks. Had a look in the radio code in. My dad brought me a crystal radio kit that you should put together yourself. Back when I was about 11, 12 years of age, she used to use that for receiving. Then later on, my older sister brought a Roberts RCB15. She used that in the bedroom. She would let me use it. So whenever I brought myself Roberts RCB55, used that. And then I started talking to other people, and then later on I brought a Gentronics 3235 from Parramatta TV shop, but North Parramatta, because I work in the area. You know, I use that, then later on I swapped that for a Super Panther, and then I went to Black Cord Man Mix from Michael Sinclair. And then there was an amateur up at Smithfield area, broke for a sec. And then you started modifying radios and all that, and using HF, what you say. About the same time, joined the Black Opal Club and the Fox Tango Club and the Southern Cross Club. And then using the HF band with the Fox Tango course on with the licensee there as well. Then I used to drive around with Man Mick every now and again, or used to drive around with Bush Tracker and talk to people all around different areas and all that, Viking Basin. Years ago, that's back in 72. used to do the amateur radio course or lessons on hands with the Foxing Club. Do everything, and then they do the best paper, fill it out, answer the question correctly by my Morse. So didn't worry about it after that. Break for a sec. And later on found out that they were doing the WIA testing at Premier Town Hall. I asked them, do I have to do my Morse? They said yes. And I said, how about they still need it? In that case, instead about use a PC for encoder or decoder, which you couldn't with the TRS-80. Now you can't do that. So no, I just didn't worry about it. Just use HF band with my brother-in-law at the time. And then later on moved up the Central Coast. Then I joined the CCARC, and then I actually got my licence through there. But before that, I actually had 6 or 7 cousins that all got amateur radio licences. They're all dead now. VK2 and 3, VK2 SKC.
Yeah, VK2 SKC, VK2 MG. That's fascinating, Steve. And yeah, I haven't told my story yet either, but I had trouble trying to get up to 10. I got my 5 back when I was still in high school, and 5 wasn't too bad. But yeah, I had trouble getting up to 10, and I was trying to. I think Maury 2CD when I was leaving Newcastle was actually running a teaching Morse code net on 6900 there of the evening, and that was great. I was actually doing a 10, 12, and then I got a job in Sydney and dropped everything. So I was kind of pleased when the code requirement dropped, because I very quickly went and upgraded my license. And yeah, long history of in CB and then getting into it, playing with VHF, and they're like, yeah, excellent, Steve. How did I get in? I'd have to say through Dad. I had a father who happened to be the YRS state supervisor, so I kind of had an in there. And I was seeing this stuff all the time. I was watching him go out with his big MR3, and he'd take a 5-element beam out with a car up to Mawson and participate in VHF contests and have stuff set up at home. And he was even playing. He had an ATV transverter for UHF as well. He was playing with that, receiving that too. But, I finally got mine in when I was 15. My novice, and held novice for a very long time until I upgraded my limited in about 92, 93, something like that. We've had I'll just let the repeater reset. Okay, we've had a few more comments on Facebook. So from Mike Dundee, how did I get into radio? At a very early age, and a friend was a ham. Much later in years, I decided to sit the test. I really wanted to know if I could pass. I did. It was for me only an academic activity. For 10 plus years, I never owned a transceiver. Most recently, I bought a Bafeng, and I didn't know that they were as common as a can of Coke. I haven't made my maiden transmission, but I'm happy. Well, Mike, we'll be happy to hear you around again. So once we get EchoLink back up, maybe you can join us that way. And yes, you've got an advanced. Okay, also Dave Ryan, he said here, something about the QRM early Wednesday morning. All of Gosford's FM stations were off air. The reason being someone was working off the antennas and making adjustments. How did he get into radio? In the 60s, lucky enough to have an AM radio that had shortwave bands and the TV picking up the local taxi 73 megahertz channel. It just keeps scrolling on me. Where were we here? Along with other local transmitters. The local AMRAD club boss ran a radio club, and yes, the CW was the entry to going further. Knowing of AMRAD in those years led to getting involved with moving towards studying, and so that led to getting the FDWI call. Okay, so this is, I don't know why it keeps dropping to the bottom there, because there's no other entries there. Okay, we are at the bottom of the list. So I'll put another call out to see if there's anybody else wishes to join us. This is Alan, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2NMZ. Good evening there, Alan, and good evening everybody else that's on the net this evening. Alan, mate, did you lift your antenna up because you're a little bit scratchy tonight? But so I've just run in. I was just out getting a bit of work done on the car. So I hope everyone is well and have been staying out of trouble. I've most definitely not been staying out of trouble. I'm just about to drop another Soda Beans order in. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Alan, and I don't know who else is on the net tonight, but hello to everyone who's dropped by. VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
Good evening, Brad. And on that note, if I could throw it back to you to have a chat about how you got into radio, I'm going to go out and check that my tripod hasn't fallen over.
Yeah, absolutely, Alan. Now I think that's quite an interesting one. I think for myself, I've had an interest in radio for a very, very long time. I'd had a scanner. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights were always great at home. I did have a very old Uniden 40-channel UHF CB radio in my first car. I enjoyed that. I'd looked at amateur radio for a very, very long time, but I'd never really taken the plunge to actually do it. I did know that the club existed. However, I'd never actually made my way to the club rooms before. And then I think it was about 3 and a bit years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. I can't remember. I think it was 3 years ago. I dropped into the club rooms and picked up 4 years ago, must be. Dropped into the club rooms, picked up the foundation book, and then it was one of those things where I wish I'd gone off and I'd taken it up a lot sooner than what I have done, because I've met some amazing people. I've learned quite a lot, and even now I'm still learning quite a considerable amount as well. I think it's just the fact of being able to listen around the world with just a piece of wire is one of the things that really gets to me. Going off and learning new things all the time is, I'm getting heavily into portable HF operations with the 705. I've got my own repeater now. Still yet to put it into service, but it is online at my own home anyway. But yeah, mate, it's been really enjoyable. There's always plus sides, and there's also the not so plus sides to it. But you're going to get that in every single hobby anyway. Yeah, I think that's about me. I'll pass it back to you, mate. VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
VK2NMZ, you were studying your foundation at the same time I was studying my advanced.
Okay, VK2NMZ and the net VK2MG, acknowledging the comment from Miles. So it seems like my antenna is up, so I'm just wondering if, given some of the poor signals I'm hearing to the repeater, we might be getting a bit of interference up there. Now, I have added another watt to my 6 watts of fury here, so I hope that'll make a difference, but another watt over 5 is not going to make a lot, is it? Yeah, I did catch the end of what you were saying there, Brad. And yes, I would agree. You do meet a lot of great folks here and find a lot of interesting stuff out. And as with any other group of people, you will find idiots as well. So you take the good with the bad, don't you? And also, Adrian has joined us on the video. Good evening, Adrian. And he says good evening to everybody on the net. Anybody else wish to join us before we head back to the top? This is Alan, VK2MG. Okay, hearing nothing, I do actually have some notes here. Henrik wants me to remind everybody that the WebSDR is up and running, and he's encouraging people to have a play with it. It's available at It's available at websdr.ccarc.org.au. I did put the link in the video if you want to go and find it in there. It's websdr.ccarc.org.au. It's currently running, I believe. Well, it's not up at Summersby yet, but it will be. I should also mention at the last meeting we did discuss the lifting of the health order, and we will be opening up, I believe, on the 16th. But we will also be having to comply with the health orders in place at the time. Whatever they happen to be, it's all up in the air at the moment. So I know that there will be emails sent out to members about that as we get closer to the time. Okay, I'm getting messages here, and I better check who those are from in case I'm saying the wrong thing. I know that's fine. It's nothing to do with this. Okay, so we will head back to the top. Rob, anything else you'd wish to add this evening, mate? VK2 NRC, VK2 MG.
MG in the group, VK2 NRC. Just curious with your WebSDR, what frequencies is it covering? Just out of curiosity. And also, is there the provision there to record a signal or download file of a particular signal? I know some of them overseas you can do it, but just having that discussion on another the other night or the other day, and
G'day, Daniel.
he was having a bit of trouble with getting not good reports of their description of what's going wrong with theirs. And he sort of brought up things, trying to get into OVSDR, and he can listen to it himself and make his own opinion. So just a question on that. Without notice. Anyway, thanks for running with that, and I'll see you all on that service. There's Adrian Fred on tomorrow night too. VK2A.
Good point. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. MG, sorry. VK2 NRC.
Yeah, VK2 NRC, VK2 MG. Thank you for reminding me of that. I should be pushing that as well. On Adrian will be running his SSTV net tomorrow evening at 7:30 on the local Wyson repeater, and I don't have the frequency of that in my hot little hand at the moment. That will also be streamed live on the Facebook stream. If you go and have a look on the club page, you will see the frequency that'll be run on, or look up the repeaters on CCARC.org.au. That's another way to do it. The WebSDR is actually a USB dongle hooked up to a Raspberry Pi 4. It's set up to listen to 2 meters at the moment, and Heinrich's configured a number of presets on there, but you can actually choose your own frequency on 2 meters. I don't know if it's set up for download. I guess the best thing to do would be either to have a chat with Henrik or have a play with it. I've only had a quick look at it a couple of weeks ago, and a quick log in tonight just to make sure that I had the web address right. Okay, moving on. Miles, anything else you wish to throw into the ring tonight, mate? VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 Mike Golf.
VK2 Mike Golf, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. I'm leaving bigger delays now, especially after using DMR.
Yeah.
I bought myself an Anytone and bought a jumbo spot, and then I bought another one. And Brad, you would have seen that message I sent you last week calling for tech. I was able to do it all on my own and get it up and running. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, I'm amazing. I can do stuff. What else? Just busy working. This new job's got me very, very busy. Oh, excuse me. And as always, I'm on the lookout for valves, 6KD6s. If anyone's got any 6KD6 valves hidden away, stashed away in their valve stashes, please contact me. I'll pay money, cash money for your valves. 6KD6s. No, that's about it from me. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Nothing else I can add. And Alan, I'd like to apologise for calling you Mark earlier. I was having a moment. I don't know what happened with my head, but anyway, it is what it is. VK2MG, VK2ASS, and good night one and all. I'll be back in about 10 minutes and to listen to the end of the net. I've just got to go off and do something real quickly outside. VK2MG, VK2ASS.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
Yeah, VK2ASS, VK2MG. Roger on the anytone and the spot. And isn't it wonderful when you think you're up against a brick wall, you got no idea what's going on, and then you work it out? It's just the most wonderful feeling, isn't it? Isn't there, Miles? And don't worry about the name. I've been called much, much worse than that. As long as you don't call me late for dinner. Oh, I don't believe I pulled that one out of the dad joke bag. I guess busy working sure beats the alternative, doesn't it? And I hope that tooth doesn't give you too much nastiness until you can get that dealt with. Teeth are never a lot of fun, are they? And a reminder out there, everyone who's looking for valves, 6KD6s. If you happen to know of anything, I'm sure Miles will be very happy for you to get in touch with them. Okay, we've had another couple of comments on Facebook here. Good evening, Daniel, our friend from Puerto Rico. KP4 Delta Romeo Bravo. Good to see you join us again, mate, and hopefully we'll have Echo Link back soon. Ken Hargraves has updated also about how he got into his Roots 3 amateur radio. Crystal said at school led me to construction later. Met VK2 BCC in 68-69, VK2 UW much earlier, I think. He ran a TV service at Belmont. I remember that TV service vaguely too. And he runs, and Dad ran school radio clubs from, and he ran some school radio clubs from 61. I'll add in there that Dad also was a big push behind running youth radio service and the clubs too. Okay. Jim, are you back with us? If so, if you let us know how you got into radio and how have you been, VK2 Juliet Whiskey, VK2 Mike Golf. That would appear not. Okay, Steve. Anything else you wish to throw into the discussion, mate? VK2 SKC, VK2 MG.
VK2 SKC. Another one, it's another place up close to Lawson. I used to go to every now and again. It's a place called Clarion Heights. The radio actually winds up to the top, transfers off there. VK2 MG, VK2 SKC.
Sorry, which heights was that? I didn't quite get that.
Codron Heights.
Oh, right.
At the top of the Katoomba and all that. There's a radio actually goes winding around towards the top of the mountain.
Gotcha, yeah, I know what you're talking about now, and that would be great for VHF and the like, wouldn't it? Good takeoff up there. Okay. And I know there's some wonderful spots up in up around here too, and of course we've got our good old faithful Mount Elliot, and I remember one time I went up into near the Wadigans up to Monkey Face Lookout, and the takeoff and the view from there is magnificent, and I imagine it would be fantastic for Ross Hole. Yes, yeah, I did actually. I think Ross Hole was on the weekend that I was also up there activating the park, and I did get a number of nice VHF sideband contacts up there just off my flower pot. Okay, nearly there, Brad. Anything else you want to throw into the mix that I might have anything that I might have missed as well, mate? VK2 and MZ, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2NMZ, mate. Nothing really more from this side. Just the plane going off and working. Power line noise has been a right pain the last few days. I've been enjoying the IC 705 and have taken it out a couple of times with the buddy pole portable, which has been a nice thing to go off and play around with. As you said before, Henrik has been talking about the web SDR, which you can find on the website and also on the club's Facebook page as well. There'll be a link placed up onto it after the net. Mate, I think that's about it from me. DMR is still going strong. Is for Echo Link and IRLP. For those that are watching and listening, I am looking at the Echo Link and IRLP controller. It is right in front of me, but won't be able to do any further configuration on it until I can actually get down to the repeater side to reinstall it and to do some final configurations. Aside from that, mate, I think also just a small call out. This will only impact a very small number of people, but speaking of websites and streaming and everything like that, if you happen to use Twitch at all, which is a streaming page, that website was recently compromised, and a huge data dump was available on the net, which provided everything from passwords, two-factor authentication, algorithms, as well as source codes to websites and massive amounts of projects. So they're going to need a bit of damage control at the moment. I think that's pretty much it on that side. So, Alan, thank you very much for running the net, and also there, good evening there to Miles as well. Great to hear you. Pass it there back to you, VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
VK2 NMZ and the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, VK2MG. Yes, I read about the Twitch stuff. I'm not sure. My reading of it seems that they didn't so much get user data, so I'm not sure about the passwords, but there was a lot of proprietary stuff and stuff that probably shouldn't have gotten out. I will say, as a Twitch subscriber, I am less than impressed that I have not received a direct email notification from them about what was going on yet. I did repost, and maybe I'll repost this as well to the club page for anybody who's interested. There was a couple of really good write-ups on what happened with Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp the other day, and it does make a fascinating read for how it broke and why it was so bad and took them so long to fix. There's a really good short summary for the layman, but as an IT person, I was fascinated to have a read of what actually the detail was, so I might actually repost that as well. Adrian has put something up on the about how he got into stuff, so let me just move over here because I again forgot to make the text bigger, and it's too far away from me on a small 13-inch screen. So Adrian says, I got into ham radio through my interest in electronics when I was younger. Then I got really into it about 6 years ago. Then I got interested in good old ATV, analog. After that, had a sudden interest in shortwave radio. I thought it was amazing that I could hear American and Chinese stations through a little box. And then after that, I decided to visit the 2020 Wyong Field Day and discovered the CCARC, and then I joined it. I then studied for my F-call and got it a year ago. Exactly a year, October October, yeah. I'm now studying for advanced licence and expecting to sit for the exam in November. It's been a long journey, but it's been fun and exciting. And Adrian, I'm sure all of us here will wish you every success in your exam in November, and I'm sure you're going to kill it, mate. Okay, we are at the bottom of the list. So the second round, that's generally about it. Anybody else wish to join us either for a quick chat or just a hi and bye? This is Alan, VK2 Mike Golf. Nothing being heard. Thank you all for this evening, gentlemen. It's been a fascinating discussion, and thank you everybody who has participated online as well. It's that's been great. So on that note, it is now. I've got another message, but I don't know if that's related to this. Let me just. Okay, yeah, it's just Brad saying the PLI noise is that I'm good direct. I'm glad I'm good direct because I should be good direct to you. I can almost see you. Okay, so on that note, it is now 20:47. This is Alan, VK2 Mike Golf, on behalf of the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, formally closing the weekly net and returning the repeater to general use. Thank you all for participating tonight.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm going to shut this down, mate. Great comments.